a lot of times people will look at this stage in the process and they'll just start over. They'll be like, "Oh my God, my skull doesn't. It looks weird. It doesn't look like a skull, whatever." Um, you never want to quit if you feel like your stuff isn't there yet. You want to go through the entire process and then from there at the end, reflect on your project, write about it, things like that. All right, so and I bring that up because a lot of times, like if I stop here and then I restart, I get really good at making the shape of the skull, but I don't get really good at making the shape of everything else by redoing the same process. So you want your skills to be more even. So what we're going to focus on this video is the eye sockets and the cheekbones. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Control D to subdivide this top part a little bit more, right? So that's this guy right here. You could also go to geometry here. Make sure that you're on, you can hit divide. And remember, it's Control D or divide. And I'm going to go B for brushes, and I'm going to grab my clay buildup brush. So it's right here. And I'm just going to lightly accent this mark here, right? So just kind of blocking in where the eye sockets meet. And then I'm going to go on the side here, and I'm going to lightly block in where the cheekbones are. So something like that. And by having that in place, what I can start to do is with my move tool, is I can start to just sort of bring this out, and I can see where that goes. Let's pull this in just a tad bit. And now I can say, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to carve. So grab my clay buildup. I'm going to carve this area in. Same thing in here in the front view. I'm going to carve in where those eye sockets go. And I'm going to grab this. That's why I docked this here so I can play with that opacity. You can see on my fill mode here at 3, there's 1. Oops, we don't want to mess with our grid size. Let's see, what was our grid size? If you do that by accident, you can go down here and zoom out a little bit here. I think it was, no, it was just 1. 1 was our grid size. So if you screw that up too, like me. So let's go back into fill mode here. And I'm going to make sure that I'm pulling this socket here just forward a little bit. So we're shaping that out. So I'm going to grab my move tool, pull this forward a little bit. And I'm just lining it up where my reference is. See that? Same thing in here. Making sure that I have that nice brow line coming in from the top. So it might feel like, oh, this is a really easy project. And it's not as difficult as sculpting out like all of the muscles in the face or things like that. But um, the attention to detail could be a little bit more taxing. So let's bring this in a little bit more. Just kind of shaping it out. Oftentimes I'll hit Shift F to kind of help guide me. Right, so that looks pretty good. It's kind of really starting to tweak this area. And then what I'm going to do now is really push that area back with my clay buildup brush. And I'm not really worried about the details or the depth as much yet. I'm just sort of building out these forms. So building out this cheekbone here. Right, because we're eventually going to, right, like in the next video, we're going to carve out this area, right, where the nostril goes, right? So I'm going to undo that because I want to keep everything uniform. All right, so we're getting there, we're getting there. Let's kind of accentuate this a little bit more in here, smooth that out so we can see it better. It's looking pretty good. I think what I'm going to do too is just, it's kind of bugging me that this is like that. Looks pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to do next is focus on the nostril area and then get some teeth in there.